everybody, it's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. Today, you all are in for a treat. We have a very, very special guest today. She is not fucking around. Her mantra, her company is changing the way we deal with money and how we do business. And she wants to help you, help us, help me get to a better business and better mindset around the topics of money. So, without further ado, I don't want to hold this woman back. Here we go. Everybody, it's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today we have Dr. Amanda. She is the founder of the No Fucking Around Money. She is not playing, y'all. She helps coach online companies and entrepreneurs and help them experience money-making breakthroughs using her proprietary NFA money-making methods. Guaranteed higher profits for your business. After going from food stamps to building a six-figure business fast, she's been driving to teach business builders strategies to make more money doing exactly what they love to do. Help me welcome to the stage the incredible, the amazing Dr. Amanda.
Woo! That is by far the best intro I've ever heard. Thank you.
Absolutely. Doctor, thank you for joining us on the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. Your resume is extensive. You are phenomenal. Thank you for joining us today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me, Marcus.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us here today. This is a powerhouse speaker. So, doctor, before we get started, before we dive right in, I have to ask every successful person this question. What is a successful habit that you do every single day that has led to the success? This is how you know you're going to have a good day. What's the one? It could be yoga. It could be a mantra. It could be meditation. It could be a food, coffee, tea. What do you do every single day that sets the tone for the rest of your day?
Ooh, such a great question. I have a routine I do, but for sure, without doubt, every single day I do personal growth and development, either reading, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube, listening to audiobooks. I every day make sure that I am nourishing my mind and saturating my brain with all things personal growth and development so that I can master myself, because if you're a master of yourself, everything in life gets pretty easy.
Facts. Hashtag facts. You can't make that stuff up, y'all. It's real. It's developing this, right? It's working on this, and everything else follows. Doctor, that's paramount. Who is someone that you admire? You are amazing. You could literally do anything you set your mind to. Who is someone that you admire or respect? They could be living or deceased, that has really carved a path for you and really led the charge for you.
There's so many great leaders. I will say Dr. John DeMartini. I don't know if you've heard of him before, but he's a powerhouse. He's called a polymath, and I've gotten different trainings from him. And he is a person who I ran into at just a really critical moment when I was pretty down and out, when I was on food stamps. And the way that he thinks opened up an entire world to me of realizing that I'm able to shift my reality through having different thoughts. And, so he was a prominent figure in my life, and really just a big-hearted, wise, intelligent guy who helps the world love themselves more and love each other more. And yeah, big influencer in my life.
We love to celebrate our heroes. And you are hey Betty, how's it going? Hi
Betty.
I can't let that slide. You touched on it. We can't let that slide. You breezed on it. You went from food stamps to six figures. Tell us about that, please, if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, I always think these things are rooted in childhood. So it started when I was really young, but when I recognized that it was an issue, it started with me on the floor crying. And I actually had ended my 15-year marriage having an affair. My next relationship was not working out. And I was on the floor crying one night because I have 3 kids. So at the moment I was in grad school and my ex-husband had lost his job. So no child support. I only had my grad student income, which was very, very low. And I lived in a very expensive place. And so I was facing this moment where I was like looking in the papers, couldn't find a place to live at the income I made, was going, oh no, am I going to be homeless? My free counselor talked me into going on food stamps, even though I had a ton of shame around it. And I was just, crying on the floor. And I was like, okay, what can I do here? And I realized that I was the center of the issues. I went like, okay, no one's going to come and rescue me. What's central to all of this is me. And so I had this epiphanal moment where I thought, okay, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to shift out of this reality because I'm really, really, really tired of feeling broken in relationships and poor. And I ended up turning to podcasts first because they were free. It's like I was really busy, right? I know, I love the podcasts. And so I basically just started listening to everything I could. And it started with relationship work. I started listening on double speed often, where I was just washing the dishes, listening to podcasts. And I started to realize that there's this whole world of information out there where you can actually learn how to have a better life, have better relationships, have better money, reality, and all those things. And it led me down the path of implementing and learning and growing. And I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. And so I ended up deciding to take the leap and start my own business. And when I did that in my first year, I went 6 figures. And the rest has really just been history. It's been me realizing like, oh, wow, these are life skills that people need. There's a lot of shame around relationship struggles and money struggles. And it led to me working with a lot of entrepreneurs. And I saw all these consistent patterns where we all have a lot of money blocks. And so because I was able to heal my own money blocks and start to work through them, I've been able to help other people do that. And it's just been awesome.
I forgot to mention, y'all, she has a heart of gold, right? Out of all the things that she could be doing, out of all the things she's currently doing, she has a pure heart of gold. Doctor, help me get to a better place. And so you mentioned it, money blocks. What are some of the money blocks that people face in your consulting business? Because you teach to this, you speak to this. What are some of the money blocks that we have, and does everyone have them? And how can we overcome them?
Great questions. So let's first start with what money blocks are. So I think of them as I was working with entrepreneurs, I realized that there was always like this invisible force holding people back, where they would say one thing, but do another. And I'm sure everyone here can say, oh, I've experienced that before, because we all have what I call competing commitments. And competing commitments is when your conscious and unconscious battle against each other. And your unconscious is always going to win. So 95% of you is driven by your unconscious, and only 5% of you is conscious. And so if you say you want, let's say in the money world, let's say you're going like, I want a 6-figure business. I want it. I know, it's like, I believe it can happen, but then 95% of you has all these money blocks that actually thinks like you're not smart enough, you're not good enough. People won't like me. What if I lose my friends? I'm scared to leave my work. What if my colleagues judge me? I mean, we could go on and on and on. Then if that 95% of you is believing all of that underneath the surface, it's going to be battling and blocking and preventing you from breaking through to whatever level you want to go in money. So I think of money blocks as competing commitments, where you have unconscious feelings and beliefs about money that make you feel bad about the amount of money you have, the way you make money, your fear around all things money. And it doesn't matter what amount you make. You could be making $5 an hour. You could be making $5 million an hour. I've never met a person who doesn't have money blocks, because let's say you're at the $5 an hour mark. You might be freaked out all the time, wishing you had more money. So you have a lot of scarcity beliefs. Similarly, you could be making $5 million an hour and be afraid that it's going to go away, and freaked out about, say, protecting it. And you just feel really afraid and anxious all the time. Similarly, you still have a scarcity money block. So I see really common themes with people, and they don't go away. You just learn how to navigate through them. And when you know what they are for yourselves in the current moment, you will be able to break through them, move to the next level, and then another one will come. And then you just work through that one, and you keep working through them as you grow and as you take leaps into bigger, more expansive versions of yourself.
There it is. If I could give her a microphone so she could drop it, that was one of those moments where she could drop a microphone. But doctor, what I hear is you got to go through it. That's what I'm hearing. You got to go through it. There's no secret sauce. There's no magical touch. You just got to go through the fire and face it head on. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, I love it. That's very NFA. I always tell people they need to have NFA radical responsibility approach, which is being willing to face yourself fully and see where you can grow and change instead of blaming other people around you.
Nuggets. We got one commercial break, y'all. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Stay engaged. We'll be right back. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. Welcome back, y'all. If you are just tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, we have the incredible Dr. Amanda, no fucking around money. And she is not playing when it comes to your money. And she just spilled the tea on some of the things, some of the obstacles that we all face, whether it be personal or business, and how we can overcome those obstacles in taking charge of our lives, which are guaranteed to, once we overcome them and once we battle them, we'll get to higher profits. And now we are going to dive in. Miss Amanda, tell us, I got to ask a question. I want to address the elephant in the room here. Why is your proprietary brand, why did you name your company No Fucking Around Money?
You know, I love it because you've said it multiple times. You said she is not fucking around about this, and it's really fun. Actually, it's a cool story. When I was young in high school, I wanted to be on this volleyball league, and it was at the rec center. I was, as a full-time swimmer, and I was like, oh, I want to be on this volleyball league, but it was for adults only. And so I read the rules, and the rules were that you had to only have one adult, and then you could have a league. And so I was like, Dad, you be the adult, and I'll gather all my friends, and we'll have this volleyball team. And so we did, and we named ourselves Team NFA, which, the adults on the team didn't know what it meant. And we were like, Team NFA. And of course we won the tournament. And then all throughout the years after that, all the sports teams that I gathered together and all the athletic endeavors I did, I would always call us Team NFA. And then one day when I was coaching, I had this client who said, wow, you're really like my tough love dad, but you've also got this really sensitive side, and it's really helping me grow. And I said, well, I'm not fucking around about your transformation. I really care. And it just stuck. And then I said it I went to a Chamber of Commerce event, and someone said, I shared that story, and they're like, that's awesome. And just many people resonated with it. So I decided to change my bio on my Instagram. I changed it to No Fucking Around Coaching. And then people started to notice it. And I had this woman reach out and say, that is incredible branding. I want to have you on my podcast. And I was like, awesome. And then on the podcast, one of her specialties is branding. She said, you need to name your company that. And I thought, okay. And I went for it. And so I ended up naming it No Fucking Around. And the interesting thing is that, for me, what that means is like radical responsibility. And no matter what you do in life, I don't care if it's joy, be NFA joy, be NFA money, be NFA about loving your life, be NFA about building your business. And so it's really this big hearted radical responsibility approach to getting what you want and really valuing your time on this earth to make as much money as you want, having a huge impact and doing all the things you love, living in your zone of genius.
Do you all see the passion that just came out? Y'all see the passion that just came out? She's like a brain surgeon, right? She's like scalpel, and she's doing the surgery. We need this in our lives, and so we need what you are laying down, good doctor. And so you also started a podcast. Tell us about the podcast. Tell us about your podcast and the show, and the movement behind that.
Absolutely. It's called Max Potential Money. And so the one thing that I kept asking my people, what would you want if you could get one result from me? What would that result be? They all said more money. And so they watched me on this trajectory of building my business and helping them. And so I thought, I used to be NFA coaching and I rebranded it. And that podcast was Max Potential Habits. And I decided to change it to Max Potential Money because I realized that's the result that a lot of people want. Why is that? Because we all want freedom of choice. The money in and of itself doesn't do anything for you. It's what you want from having the money. And what I realize is that people want to live fully expressed lives doing exactly what they want to do. And money gives them that freedom to do it. The interesting thing is that we often have it in reverse where we think like, oh, once I get the money, I'll do the things that make me feel free. But it starts with you feeling free and doing what you love and the money comes. And so I really teach those strategies around living in your zone of genius and becoming an attractor magnet to money instead of working so hard to make money and having it feel like this, stressful, hard work idea, which is a money block, and thinking I've got to work my whole life to then retire and be happy. That's very backwards in my mind.
Makes sense. You're speaking to the core, right? She's speaking to me, y'all. This is what I needed today, if anything else. And so that's powerful, right? We need to, I kind of said it the other day on my podcast the other day too, is I asked the question, what would you do if you had $1 million? What are the couple of things you're going to do when you get $1 million? And everybody said, yes, claim it, right? But what would you do when you get $1 million? And everybody said, well, I would do this when I get $1 million. I would do this when I get $1 million. Well, a lot of the things, what I've always found and what I'm waiting for is people always say, I would do this when I get $1 million. But 90% of the stuff that you're listing off, you can do right now. Right. Yes. And so just like you don't have to be happy. The $1 million isn't going to make you happy. To me, the $1 million is the finish line. It's the end result of what you've amassed and what you've achieved and what you've worked for to achieve ultimate happiness. But it's not the beginning. It's the finish line. So that's how I read into that.
I love it, Marcus. I'm going to blow your mind because I asked this same question. And what I ask people is $1 billion. I say, what would you do if you had $1 billion? What would you do with your time? And the reason I use the billion is because it gives people such expansive freedom. Because $1 million these days, like, where I live, a house is $1 million. Like it's the average house price. So it's like, I want you to think from this perspective of like ultimate freedom. If you had $1 billion, what would you do with your time? And exactly like you said, it's because it's not what the money is going to buy you. I don't want you to be thinking about how you're going to spend the money. I want you to be thinking, what would you do with your time? Because time is the most precious commodity. We can't replace it, right? And all of us have an equal amount of time, and most of us want to spend it doing what we love, right? Everyone thinks like, I'm going to pursue the money and then I'll be happy, instead of going like, be happy now, let the money come your way. So it's exactly like you said. We go like, okay, who am I going to become on the journey to being a millionaire or being a billionaire, whatever level you want to get to? That's the power, right? It's exactly like Brandon's saying, it's the journey, not the destination. And when you really own that, you change your whole reality. I always tell people your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you don't like what you're getting on the outside, you've got to start working on what's within. And then it starts to match. And then you raise your frequency and start to attract more your way that you want to attract your way. It's not the other way around. Like, oh, when I get that thing, then I'll somehow be happy. When you get there, you'll be the exact same person. So you've got to become that person along the way.
Yes, Brandon, high five.
Yeah.
I just want to high five everybody. This is powerful. Mic drop moment for sure. So that's powerful. And that makes a whole bunch of sense, right? Start the work now, y'all. That's what she's saying. And if you don't know what she's saying, check her out on her website. Get connected and grow with this movement. The train has left the station, y'all. You got to get on board some way, somehow, but get on board. We have one more quick commercial break. You guys stay with us. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss 1 second of this powerhouse speaker. See you guys soon.
I'm Marcus Norman, bringing fresh vibes to hot topics surrounding culture, relationships, business, finance, sex, dating, faith, and everything in between. Whether you're into passive income opportunities, trending topics and useful relationship tips, or dynamic guest speakers, there's something for everyone. You can expect all that and more every week. If you're down with this content, then consider joining our growing community by subscribing to Gentleman Style Podcast and smash the bell to get on our VIP list. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching. Link to my channel.
If you are just joining in, this is Marcus Norman on Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have the incredible Dr. Amanda of No Fucking Around Money. And she is not messing around about your money, your finances. And she wants to help you take your business to the absolute next level. And so what she just touched on, if you missed it, go back, check it out. And she wants to help you overcome a lot of the obstacles and objections that we all face in our business. Doctor, tell us. First off, I want to point this out. COVID-19 was terrible. COVID-19 was a dumpster fire going down the highway at full speed. And so a lot of businesses had to pivot and a lot of businesses couldn't. And so in your consulting business, in your teachings and what you coach to, how have you coached businesses and navigated businesses through navigating to an online platform? What do you tell your clients? Can you spill some tea or some of the nuggets that you teach to run a successful coaching and online business? Because that's different and that's new for a lot of us.
Yeah. First I'd say everything has the meaning that you give it. So when we think about COVID-19 and the challenges that it brought up, I always like to help people reframe in the direction of what are the opportunities, what were the lessons, what did you learn, how did you grow, and what could it be opening the door for? Because just like I look at everything, when I said, if you don't like what you're getting on the outside, you've got to look from within. I think societally at the bigger macro perspective, it's the same thing. If we don't like what we're getting on the outside, there needs to be a shift. And so when we're in a transformational phase, it's sometimes painful, and it depends on how you look at that pain and how you experience that pain. It's all based on your mindset. So you go in every challenge, there's an opportunity. And so when I'm working with people, I'm always helping them to see what's the opportunity here for you. What's the upside of this? What did you gain and learn and how did you grow? Because most people think success is like a straight line. A straight line. They want it to be a straight line. And they go why can't I just get from point A to point Z with, only straight line up growth? And it doesn't work that way. Growth takes challenge and support. And then that challenge side, sometimes it feels like a downside, but your perception of it makes it so. And so you want to start shifting your thoughts in the direction of seeing the opportunities. This isn't negating that you feel the challenges and you go wow, this is hard. This is scary. There can be some real threats to our health and to our finances and all of those things. And so when I work with people, it's always helping them see that everything that's coming your way is an opportunity for you to refine yourself and step out in a new way in your zone of genius. And so when I'm helping people revamp their businesses or repurpose what they already have created to be more online and or diversify, just so that whenever anything happens in the future, you're diversified and you're prepared, then you have a different mindset around it. So it's often around going, okay, what can I learn from this? And then strategically working a plan from there. But it all starts with the way you're perceiving it. Because if you're in a really victim-minded headspace about what's happened in the past, you're going to stay stuck there and you're going to create more of that in your reality. So you want to start focusing on what in the present moment can I do to enhance my future and plant seeds to expand into my fullest potential. So that's what I would start with, Marcus.
I'll take it all day long. And you may have mentioned this earlier, but I want to break down and I want to really point out the three top competing commitments that all entrepreneurs face, including myself. You probably mentioned some of them earlier, but if we could pinpoint those three top competing commitments that most entrepreneurs face and they have to overcome. Can you share those with us one more time?
Yeah. And I'm going to do the money-based competing commitments because those are super fun to work with. And I want everyone to take the Money Blocks profile because this will tell them their top Money Blocks competing commitment and what the top three are. And there's 100 beliefs behind this. Okay. So whenever I think about a money block, I think about it almost as a paradigm. It's an accumulation of beliefs. And so in the top three money blocks that I found for entrepreneurs, it's money is bad, money is scarce, and money causes stress. And let me break these down a little bit. And the money is bad, it's this idea, depending on your upbringing and how you were raised, you might have gotten a lot of downloads from your environment, your family, preachers, teachers, movies, everything around you that said it's bad to have a lot of money. So this could look like money is the root of all evil. This could look like it's not spiritual to have a lot of money. This could look like, oh, if I get too rich, people might think I'm a greedy jerk. You know, when you have that belief system operating, you're going to push money away from you because you're going to think if I get too rich or if I make a lot of money, I will somehow lose the goodness within myself. And if we believe that, we're going to unconsciously sabotage making a lot of money because we're going to feel scared that we ourselves will be bad or people will perceive us somehow as bad. And so that's money is bad. Then we have the money is scarce money belief. This is one that can hit all levels of income as well, where we could think that there's never going to be enough. And I don't care what amount of money you're making, you have this fear like there's never going to be enough. I'm not enough. There's not enough money. There's not enough resources. There's not enough time. There's not enough to go around. You're going to operate from that place. In that place, you're often for entrepreneurs, it shows up as them over delivering and undercharging, which seems the opposite. Because they're like, I don't have enough money, so so really you should be charging more. But it turns out where you charge less because you have this scarcity mentality. Like if I charge too much, people will go away. And so I see people working way too hard for the money that they make. And then they're stressed out, burnt out, and feeling overwhelmed. So that's a huge thing that comes up with the money is scarce. Then we've got the money causes stress. Now this one's really interesting. And it's I would say it's the number one. I've had a lot of people go through my Money Blocks profile. And that's the highest proportion of entrepreneurs is believe that money causes stress so far. It's a mix, and you'll experience all of them in your life and at different places and time. Money causes stress is the one where you go, oh my God, I can't work 10 times as hard to make 10 times as much money. So you have this belief that money causes stress. You have this belief that if I just avoid looking at my money, somehow things will be taken care of. So you get really scared of looking at your money because somehow it's too much responsibility. In this one, you could be a person who's afraid of success. So you go, which sounds kind of counterintuitive and weird. We go like, why would I be afraid of success? Well, often people are afraid of success because they go, it's going to be too much responsibility. I'll have to work too hard. And the list goes on and on. Alternatively, you could also just be afraid of looking at your money because it causes stress. So the money causes stress is a big one for entrepreneurs. And it causes this one I see a lot of people self-sabotage. So they'll break through to a certain level in their money, and then something will happen to sabotage back down to a level. And I've seen this across the board in all of the money blocks. And that's why it's so important to uncover what your money blocks are so that you can break through that invisible ceiling that keeps you stuck at a certain money set point. And you want to be able to break through that and create whatever amount of money you want to create. And there is no right amount. It's my amount is my amount, your amount is your amount. It's just breaking through your own ceiling and creating what it is you want to create in your financial world.
Woo! This is powerful now, and I'm glad you pointed that out because it reminded me of a book that I read. It was the book around titans of industry, and they talk about John D. Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, Chase, all those titans of the industry. And one of the things when they built their empires, they were terrified to leave the money to their kids, because they had amassed so much money. They had amassed so many of these money blocks. Because they saw it. Money can crush a person if they're not ready for it. And so as you were speaking through this, it just reminded me of that chapter. It's like, that's why so many people who win the jackpot, they win the lottery, the Powerball, they go broke in 5 years. It literally tears them down. They were doing okay in life, and then they got the money, and they're literally back even further than where they was.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
absolutely.
So I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much. Doctor, this has been powerful. This is a powerhouse episode. What final words would you leave? If you had one more nugget in your tool belt, what final tool or nugget would you leave for that growing entrepreneur who's interested in getting started or on the fence about getting started?
So many good ones. I'll repeat it because I think it's so powerful. And if you really, really live by this, everything in your life will be easy. Everything in your money will get easier. Everything generally, building business, everything, relationships, love, everything you want is so close to you. If you really live by the rule that everything in your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you don't like what you're getting, I don't care what area of life or business or money it's in, you got to start working on what's within. You are the creator of your reality, and it's your responsibility to do the best you can do and expand your fullest potential by mastering yourself.
Amen. Amen. We had a question from our audience. How can a business person get in contact with you for a consultation?
Awesome. They can go to, it's interesting because I have so many ways to hang out with me. If they take the Money Blocks profile, they will then get an invite to do a consult with me. So have them go to www.moneyblocksprofile.com, take that profile, they'll get an 8-page report, and then it gives them an opportunity to have a consult with me.
There you have it. There you go. That is the best way, Miss Claudette, Miss Hutchinson. That's the best way to connect with her and get that consultation to take your business guaranteed to the next level and higher returns.
If you want also, Marcus, you can put my email in there. Totally fun. It's dramanda@nfamoney.com. dramanda@nfamoney.com.
Roger that. I had to type like super fast. Absolutely. Check her out. You have her email now, y'all. Check her out. She's phenomenal. She's a powerhouse speaker, and she will take you to the next level. Doctor, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day. I got to say this to you publicly. Don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. We need you. We need what you're doing because you are literally changing the world, one household, one family at a time.
Thank you. I won't. So happy to be here, Marcus. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And thank you, my audience, for joining me on Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this message served you, and I hope this was helpful, and I hope you took something from this, and I hope it takes your business to the next level. Thank you for tuning in. Like I end every show, take care of your family, take care of your home, and take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show and Dr. Amanda, No Fucking Around Money, signing off. Love you guys. Bye.